Okay, what the hell? Am I still live with noises? Hello? Okay, what the hell? Am I still live with noises? Fuck. I think what happened is YouTube suspended the stream because I was, I don't know, is this still the same one? Come on. I was confused. What the hell, man? Come on. Alright. It looks like what happened was because Resident Evil trailers had guns in it, that they suspended my stream, I think. I think that's what it was. I didn't realize you couldn't show guns at all on YouTube anymore. I had no idea that was the thing. But I don't know. It doesn't make sense. I could have swore I've watched videos on here before that had guns in it. But I think that's what happened. But luckily, I don't know. It says first time violations are typically result. But I don't know. I mean, as far as I know, I'm live streaming right now. I just immediately went back online. I don't know. I think it's a firearm policy. Copyright. I wasn't playing anything copyrighted as far as I know. Yeah, I guess it's a firearm one, but I don't know. It was like I was watching a trailer with the gun in it. I don't know. I feel like I could have watched videos before, but I guess we can't watch that video because there's more guns in it. I'm just like, okay. The system just like automatically finds that or something. That was a little annoying. Yeah, I need to be right back section. So yeah, that was annoying. Why is your chat still there? I don't know if you're still there, Noble or not. I had to start a new stream. They suspended my stream because there was a gun in it. I didn't realize having guns meant like. Anyways, hold on. back. I need a BYB. Oh, you're back? Oh, here. Yeah, Noble Bull. Yeah. My stream got suspended because there was guns in it, I think. I didn't realize. How long was it suspended for you? But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's because in that Resident Evil stuff I was watching, there was guns in it, and I didn't realize that you can't have guns in a live stream. I guess only for live streams you can't have a gun for some reason in it, so they suspended that. Then I was worried that. I think so. Yeah, I know. It's. I looked it up, and I figured that's what it was because I wasn't listening to any licensed music. My background music is just like generic, free copyrighted music. That's whack. Yeah, I had no idea, but I'm wondering if that's just for live streams or like, because I mean, there's gotta be millions of YouTube videos about guns and shit. But I think it's just for live streams. I don't know. I was looking at it right here. Where did like a Gregorian chant thing come from? So yeah, it wasn't a community violation. I wasn't harassing. I wasn't sold firearms, I guess. It's just weird. One of that's always been a thing, but I guess I can't watch that anymore. I was looking at the Resident Evil trailer. Yeah, so they're basically quoting from the thing I was just watching on the video. Yeah, so he said that this takes place alongside the events of Resident Evil 2, suggesting that the movie itself takes place in 1998. I'm addicted to Coke. I shouldn't drink it. I like to think that everything that's happening could be happening in this world. Just another dude on another mission on the other side of town and what's going on with him. It's not canon in that I'm not using the characters, but it's canon that in it lives in the actual day of reckoning in Raccoon City. Abrams is reuniting Krager described the actual leading role as an avatar from the game, telling deadline in April 2026. When did this come out? Yeah, this came out a couple days ago. Well, now I want to just read this one because it's the most current. It's April 30th, so 2 days ago. But I guess this is probably just more clips from that same article. Yeah, it wasn't. To me, I feel like you told PlayStation. Every one of these articles links to another article. So, like, where's the original article? To me, I would feel like there's no kind of winning there if it was Leon's story. It would just be kind of redundant, and ultimately I think the disappointing. I don't know, I'm wondering if they've ever had a Resident Evil game where you just played an average Joe instead of somebody with training. I was like, they need to make a game like that. Like, why haven't they? Like, make it a Resident Evil with just a regular person. I guess maybe that's what the newer ones are, the first person, but yeah, I forgot about those ones. I don't like the first person ones though. Krager continued, so the world of Resident Evil 2 is kind of where it takes place. It's just following a different person who's on a mission in this horrible night when things go wrong in Raccoon City. So yeah, that's the movie, is him getting to Raccoon City, and whatever he's carrying, there's probably got the T virus in it or something, or maybe he had the actual cure for it, or maybe he was actually bringing the virus into town. But I guess if I watch this teaser, it'll like shut me down again because there's a gun in it. So he's just a normal guy, not particularly good at combat in any way, shape, or form. He's athletic, but he's not an athlete. He's just a guy. He's just a good-natured, hapless dude who gets sucked into a nightmare. I didn't see a mutant dog in the trailer. Is he saying there's going to be one? That would be the gamut of emotion. Like what would be the gamut of emotion look like? And Austin's just so fun to watch. He's perfect for it. John O. Wilson. Who's that? Is that a new addition to the cast? I knew about the other ones. Alright, that guy who was in Twisted Metal. He was goofy. It has 7 movies. I've only ever seen the first one. But none of them seems to be like properly what Resident Evil is. This game. I think that's enough on the Resident Evil topic. So over here, this one's brand new as well and kind of weird. But they're making an Adamfall TV show. And it'll expand on the game's mythology. So this game only came out like last year, I think it was. And it was okay, I played a bit of it. But it wasn't doing anything new enough for me to keep playing it. Post-apocalyptic survival game Adamfall is heading to the small screen. Cricket bats at the ready. A TV adaptation of Rebellion's post-apocalyptic survival action game is in development from the duo behind Jamie Dornan thriller The Tourist. The latest video game to get live action adaptation treatment. News of a Battlefield landed only last week, which I'm going to talk about after this. 2025's Autumn Fall hailed from British studio Rebellion and put a distinctively British spin on the post-apocalypse. Inspired by 1957's Windscale disaster. I don't even know what that is. Adamfall is set in a Lake District quarantine zone. Is that a real thing that happened? Oh, a Windscale fire of October 10th. United Kingdom's worst nuclear accident. This happened like years before Chernobyl. Is Chernobyl the worst one now still? Occurring at the Windscale site in Cumbria, the disaster involved a fire in pile number 1. Okay. Somewhat, there's your little history lesson for the day. Adamfall is set in a Lake District quarantine zone where a nuclear incident was caused society to deteriorate. I don't know, to me it was still like, this just feels like a little bit like a smaller version of Fallout. The player assumes the role of an amnesiac with no memory of how they arrived in the quarantine zone, as they navigate a world that blends classic British sci-fi horror, nuclear paranoia, and ancient mythology. The TV adaptation will expand on the game's mythology but remain faithful to its tone, themes, and British roots. Developed by Harry and Jack Williams' Two Brothers Pictures, the pair are seemingly big fans of the games, with Rebellion CEO Jason Kingsley noting, Harry and Jack demonstrated a clear love for Adamfall. And talked about their own particular endings when they were playing the game. It is always exciting to work with people who share the same passion for creating and telling stories, and we are sure that this partnership will help deliver a television series that will delight fans. Got my little sweater here, balcony doors open, and it's a little cold, but I want to keep it open because I just like the fresh air, or fresh city air. Adamfall recently won Best British Game at the 2026 BAFTAs. Wait, what? TV projects? I thought the Bellion was only gaming. Anyways, alongside Duncan Jones' adaptation of Rogue Trooper and Judge Dredd TV show called Mega City 1. That sounds cool. That's not a game adaptation. Judge Dredd is a comic. So I don't know why they're making it sound like that. The Carl Urban movie is really good though. The Carl Urban movie is like massively underrated. For sure, but it might be disappoint fans clamoring for a Netflix remake starring Carl Urban. Well, I don't want to get into that. Don't want to get too sidetracked. Just sticking to the adaptation stuff. Is that it? Adamfall is just the latest long-lived adaptation project heading to screen following a critical box office success of Last of Us, Minecraft. Up next, MK2, Zack Snyder's Resident Evil. Yeah. So MK2 in a week or so. And then Resident Evil and Street Fighter coming out near around the same time in fall. So that's cool. I'm looking forward to both of those. It's like a good year for adaptation movies. Like TV, we still just have the second part of season 2 of Fallout. TV wise, not a whole lot, but movie wise, they had a pretty good year. So yeah, love it. Love it. Huh. Mortal Kombat 2, I guess? I don't know. The more I watch Street Fighter stuff, I'm like, man, this could be really good too. But I'm gonna just say MK2, just to see what the results are. Resident Evil, Mortal Kombat 2, 51. So yeah, Resident Evil over Street Fighter. I'm looking forward to all of them. But that is pretty wild. Another pretty random adaptation of a game that just came out. And not even a huge game that was a massive hit. I'll let the game, maybe it'll be good and have an actual ending. Burn! Am I already signed in? How am I already signed in? What site is this? Games Radar. But I set up one account once and now suddenly I'm logged in forever. I didn't know that I had an account on here. Uh-oh. Is this a new article about Baldur's Gate 3? I'd love to have some news about that. Or the Baldur's Gate game. Sorry, show or movie. Oh, this is from February. Did I know I reported on the news, but I don't think I caught this part. So here I go off on another tangent, but this is involving Baldur's Gate, which is, I'm interested to see how this is going to work out. With the news that the RPG is being turned into a show, which I already did a video on, showrunner Craig Mazin at the helm, fans of the hit genre are voicing their doubts. For one thing, Larian is not involved for the adaptation. For another, the game ends with multiple possible endings, both in the main narrative and then for each individual character, including your own, as the HBO show is picking up after the game, which means certain choices are going to be unavoidably sealed as canon. This is going to be so bad that it'll make Game of Thrones Season 8 seem good. You don't know that. Baldur's Gate 3 developer Larian has no involvement in the show. Are they insane? The best adaptations all have developers involved. I gotta say, it's going to be incredibly difficult to please game fans with this one. I'll definitely watch it. But planning for just a fun D&D show with dragons, magics, and monsters and shit. Why do they have to follow up on anything? Can't they just make a completely new show? It's going to reek of cheap fan service cash grab. When is this part? This is interesting too. I never saw this. As I get more sidetracked into Baldur's Gate stuff. This is from March. So one of the voice actors says fans worried about HBO's TV sequel should withhold judgment, obviously. Newborn tells FRVR. I don't know what FRVR is. Neil Newborn, who voices popular party member Astarion in the smash hit game Baldur's Gate 3, is offering up his support for HBO's upcoming live-action sequel. I really hope people give them space to make the show that they want to make. It's really important that an artistic endeavors are left to cook. What they'll do with it, who knows? I think he's a great showrunner as well. Yeah, I think Chernobyl is a great example of how good his writing is. Man. If they do it right, I think it'll be a fantastic series. Let them cook, man. Let them do their own thing and enjoy it. I think the worry about the internet is at the moment sometimes is that people really pile on a lot and they get worried and upset. And I understand that comes from a place of love. Often they're very worried about things, but nothing's happened yet. You know what I mean? Burn. The Baldur's Gate TV show will be the first ongoing live-action D&D show, which is fans naturally on edge. About to sneeze. As adaptations of tabletop RPG have been hit or miss across the years. Nonetheless, fans want Newborn. Newborn wants fans to reserve any judgment until after seeing the show. Keeping in mind that it likely won't be a perfect one-to-one experience with actually playing the game. TV, film, theater, most theaters, some theaters are actually promenade. What? I don't know how to read that sentence properly and make it sense. Games are active, they're involved directly in the story. It's a completely different medium, and I think people should understand that. I hope they do, that it's a different thing. That's why it has to be treated in a different way. You have to see that this is the vision of people of the best story they can do with the material they have. This is a game. And if you take film that goes into a game adaptation, same thing, right? For a long time, it was not easy to translate people because people would try to translate the film into a game as opposed to making the game itself. I don't want to read that anymore. You still there? What was I originally talking about? Oh, the Adam Ball Show. Alright, next up. They just announced a Battlefield movie is in the works. This is an exclusive from Hollywood Reporter from a couple of days ago. Well, last week, I guess. Christopher McQuarrie and Michael B. Jordan to tackle adaptation of Battlefield video game. The biggest Hollywood studios and streamers are taking meetings with A-listers this week to make a movie out of the biggest game of 2025. Which I thought that was just them saying something, but then they actually said that it was the highest selling game of all year, I think, which is like, I didn't realize Battlefield was the biggest selling game of all year. At least that's what they say. As the week comes to a close, the groundwork is being laid for what could be the biggest bidding war of the year. And it's appropriately enough for Battlefield, the military video game which last year topped the sales charts. And if the title wasn't enticing enough, it comes with some of the biggest names in Hollywood. They spelled his name wrong, I didn't even notice that. Chrisit Ofer. They got the I and the S backwards. That's kind of silly. What if I can write that in the comments? By the way, guys, you spelled his name wrong. That's pretty embarrassing, though. Like, that's not a good look at all to have a spelling error in any of your articles. I don't know. There's no way to comment on it, just to be like, yo, you made a mistake. That's all. Not to be like rude. Can't find it. So, Kursit Ofer Macquarie has spent the last dozen years guiding field operations for yeah, he's basically made the last how many Mission Impossible movies? And Michael B. Jordan, who last month won an Oscar for his performance in Sinners. Macquarie is attached to write, direct, and produce a feature adaptation of Battlefield, the military video game from Electronic Arts, while Jordan is attached to produce and possibly star, depending on several factors. So he's involved, but so far only as a producer, but I feel like he'll probably be in it. Are they doing a Miami Vice with B. Jordan and Austin Butler? That could be interesting. I don't know. I thought the Colin Farrell Jamie Foxx movie was actually pretty good, the Miami Vice one, but no one seemed to really pay much attention to it. It was alright. But I also just love the director, Michael Mann. This hot package is currently before studios who are already marshalling their interest. Additional producers include Jesse Stern of Electronic Arts, Carter Swan of Emerald Neon, Roy Lee and Mary Yoon of Vertigo, and Elizabeth Raposo of Outlier Society. Sources tell The Hollywood Reporter that Macquarie and several others pitch studios and streamers such as Apple and Sony. So they're like, last week they were pitching, going on a pitching frenzy, pitching a tent. This was last week, so they mean like last Friday, I guess. Those involved are prioritizing a theatrical release, so it is unclear if Netflix will be on the meetings list. It is unclear when bidding will commence, but studio business affairs execs better gird their loins for this one. What the hell? It will not be cheap. Talent costs will be one thing, but even getting rights to the game will be pricey. Well, shouldn't they not already have the rights if they're planning on doing this? Like, if they want to do this, they're not going to be like, oh right, we haven't asked EA if we can do this yet. Battlefield first launched in 2002 as a World War II game titled Battlefield 1942. Over the next 2 decades, the game became more ambitious and elaborate, set in various time periods. Even the future, Battlefield 6, the 18th game and latest in the series, was released last year, and it's set about 2 years into the future and featured a splintered NATO as one of the sides fighting. Reportedly one of the most expensive games ever made, it became not only the biggest seller in the franchise history, but the top game of 2025. So yeah, I was surprised. I didn't realize it actually beat Call of Duty, or that I was the #1 seller. I knew it did well, but it actually beat Call of Duty. That's interesting. That's because Battlefield doesn't release a game every single year. Battlefield is sometimes compared to Call of Duty, the other long-running military first-person shooter game and one of the most popular games of all time. The two are hard and fun in the way in the trenches for top spot in the video game field, and now the two may be forced to fight for Sina Mai Tai supremacy. A Call of Duty feature is currently in top priority development at Skydance's own Paramount, with Tyler Sheridan co-writing the script and Peter Berg on board to captain. So those are two pretty significant directors. So I mean, they're really going for it with these directors, and like Peter Berg and Macquarie are both big deal directors in terms of action. Macquarie's been doing Mission Impossible movies with Tom Cruise for like 10 years, so now he's doing Battlefield. And Taylor Sheridan is a great writer, and he's writing. Taylor Sheridan did a bunch of good stuff. That ranch show about the ranch or something is one of the ones that he did. I don't think it's as warm out as I thought it would be today. What? I don't know, 15? Doesn't feel like 15. It feels like 22. Maybe if I go outside. Maybe if I actually touch grass today. Just walking right through the street. Alright, I just glanced out the window and there's an intersection right there and some lady was literally just walking diagonally right through it during a green light. I was like, alright. Just like ho-hum walking right through the intersection on a diagonal on a green light. Okay, yeah, alright. I like look out the window and that's what I can see, cars and shit. Crazy old people walking around. So they had it. Battlefield and Call of Duty both coming out with a movie. That's pretty wild. Next on the docket, one of the Claire Obscure voice actors says live action Street Fighter or God of War adaptations are necessary since I don't think video games need to justify their existence. Well, that's not what it's about. But if they create more games, all the better. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. That's the best part of it. And they're making a Claire Obscure show or something too. Yeah, a movie. Video games have finally, I'm gonna add, become the Hollywood gold rush du jour. With Mortal Kombat 2, Street Fighter still to come this year. Super Mario Galaxy bounced through the box office. Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is up for a silver screen version too, but voice actor Ben Starr believes the medium is more capable of standing on its own. It is. Without TV validation from film or TV producers. Why does he think it's all about validation? It's about just making money. Duh. He spoke about the subject to Dextero at this year's BAFTA Games Awards. I think he said it on a red carpet in the video, or I'm not sure, but now I'm afraid to watch videos in case there's a gun in it. I don't think video games need adaptations to justify them. I think it's exciting. I think it's a testament to the power of video games that we're having so many people want to go to the well of games. See, you say something like that, but then you go, yeah, but it's also awesome for this exact reason that I love it too. People watch the show or movie and then they're like, I'm gonna go try that out, and then they love it. He mentions how powerful game franchises have become to production companies. We've got so many strong IPs. You're already seeing God of War, Assassin's Creed. He states, good luck to them. I don't think we need them. I think TV needs us. Nah. That just makes you sound like, you being like Shigeru Miyamoto was just a little bit in the earlier article. He then clarifies it's not us versus them because he and the fellow voice actors will work in other mediums too, but the point stands. The God of War show from Amazon and Netflix new Assassin's Creed adaptation wouldn't be happening unless there was some perceived value in their fan bases. They and many like them are overflowing with ideas that other creative teams could explore to everyone's benefit. It's nice because it allows games to expand beyond the remit of gamers. Startup muses. We saw what happened with Last of Us. It was amazing. We're seeing that with Fallout. People are revisiting Fallout 4, and it's nice to get more people into those. Exactement. That's what's worth celebrating, he believes, over video games crossing some imaginary threshold of legitimacy. If it means that more people can play video games, the better. But I don't think video games need to justify their existence by being shown. I don't know why you seem to think it's about... Wow, look at that. I actually made a comment myself. I'm just getting dissed all over the place today. Well, I don't know. The voice actor says something kind of dumb, but then he almost kind of like says the right thing after it. So I don't know. I don't think he's really getting his message out there like he thinks he is. So over here, the last part of the tabs that I have open, but this one could be a long one, who knows. But this is Total Film. It says Total Film in the corner, but it goes to gamesradar.com, so I don't know. This was last updated April 14th. Mortal Kombat 2 to Elden Ring. Here's the latest news on all the upcoming video game adaptations in the works. Five Nights at Freddy's 2 smashed box office records. I don't know, did it? I didn't think it did that well. Yeah, so they're just doing this in order. Well, this date is already wrong. Update your date, guys. It's May 8th. You already know about that one. I'm looking for new ones that maybe I didn't hear about, or I don't know when they're coming out. September 18th for Resident Evil. We already know that. Street Fighter is coming October 16th. I already knew that. So I want to get into the stuff that's happening that I don't know about. Madden, this one's, it's like more about the football guy. I don't think it's about the games, or maybe it is. Yeah, just like they said, releasing Prime Video this year, a movie about a development. Wait, is it about it? Releasing on Amazon Prime this year as a movie about the development of a video game instead of a straight adaptation. However, we're still including on our list since the Madden game series is involved. This new film follows the life of John Madden and details his involvement in making some of the best sports games around with NFL Madden games. The film has a stacked cast as well with Nicolas Cage, Christian Bale, and Catherine Hahn. So it is about the making of the game. Well, that's Christian Bale right there. I think. I barely recognize him. Angry Birds 3 coming in December 23rd. Don't really care, but okay. Yeah, no one seemed to talk about Angry Birds 3. I mean, they've made 3 now, so I guess it's doing okay. But I don't really play the game, so as of right now, Angry Birds 3 does finally have a release date. So now that's it for the year. What's coming out next year? First thing coming out next year is Sonic the Hedgehog 4. The Sonic Hedgehog movie franchise has grossed over $1 billion worldwide. Is that really the first thing coming out next year, though? Or are they just doing movies? Like nothing comes out in the first 3 months of next year until March 19th? They don't know the plot yet, but the mid-credits of Sonic 3 did introduce us to a bunch of new characters, such as Amy Rose, and we also know that our favorite edgy hedgehog, Shadow, made it out of the final battle alive as well. Even without any plot details, though, we are sure the movie will be another hit. Legend of Zelda, May 7th. This one I am interested in as well. I mean, who wouldn't be interested to know how a live-action Zelda, which has been in demand for years, would actually look? The live action Legend of Zelda movie has officially confirmed with a release date of May 7th, 2027. As typical of Nintendo, the company made the announcement on its app on March 2025. After years of Zelda creator Shigeru Miyamoto rejecting the idea of an on-screen adaptation, the success of the Mario Bros. Movie changed his mind, and now Link is heading to Hollywood. So I should mute. The production is a joint venture between Nintendo and Sony Pictures, which brought Uncharted to life on the big screen. Wes Ball is on board to direct. That's hot. Excuse me. Yeah, I already know about Benjamin Evan Inglesworth and Booger Bragginson. Minecraft Movie 2 set for release on July 23rd, 2027. After being one of the biggest movies of 2025, we got news that we were getting a Minecraft movie sequel a few months after the first hit the screen. That's right, 2027. We now know that we will be heading back to the Blocky World Pack with creative possibilities. So far, no cast announcements have been made, so we don't know if Jack Black will be returning as Steve this time around. In terms of our own predictions on Minecraft movie, personally, we think it won't be following Steve this time around. So what if he's in another movie? Since when has that ever stopped an actor before? Saying he has his hands full with Jumanji 3. However, it could be wrong. Horizon Zero Dawn. This one just says 2027. They have an actual date. Sony announced a Horizon Dawn movie in 2025, though details are thin on the ground at the moment. Columbia Pictures and PlayStation Productions are at the earliest stages of developing a film. Don't hurt your new shirt. Of the award-winning Horizon Zero Dawn. Just imagine Aloy's a beloved origin story set in a vibrant, far future world with giant machines brought to you for the first time on the big screen. A release window was announced last year, confirming that the movie will arrive in 2027. So that's all they have for the 2027. But is there a list for just shows? Is it really just say movies? Yeah, I guess. So then do they have one just for shows? March 3rd, 2028 for Elden Ring. I didn't know if that was is that new news or not? Why is my internet that slow? I don't have anything downloading. This came out April 20th, 420 day. Elden Ring movie cast release date. Okay, this could be useful. This is good. That's why I wanted to go through that article to find out shit that I didn't already know yet. Because I didn't know that they made an announcement about this part, I don't think. I'm bad at my job. I'm really bad at updating my site. The Elden Ring movie just got its biggest update yet, and we couldn't be more excited for this particular dark fantasy to make its way to the big screen. The upcoming adaptation hails from A24, so that's kind of interesting that they're doing this. And writer-director Alex Garland, whose pretty big deal too. So excitingly, we now have a release date and a full cast announcement after a long stretch of silence following the movie's announcement. Below you get everything you need to know about the Elden Ring movie so you can get up to speed. And one of the most exciting video game adaptations at a glance. So Arise Tarnished. Research high and low to bring you all there is to know. Okay, I'm going to skip all that part. Elden Ring release date, March 3rd, 2028. Announced an official press release, 2026. 824 IMAX. Here's the full cast was announced. Kit Connor, Ben Whishaw, Kaylee Spinay, Tom Burke, Havana Rose, Leo. Some of these names I recognize, some don't. Sonoya Mazzino, Jonathan Price, I know him. Ruby Cruz, no. Nick Offerman, yeah, we all know him. John Hodgkinson, no. Jefferson Hall, Emma Laird, Peter Serafinowicz. Kaylee Spinay is an extremely cute actress. She's like crazy cute. She was in Alien, Prometheus, the most recent Alien movie. I'm already forgetting what it's called. That's how forgettable it was. But yeah, super duper cute actress. As for characters though, we might be showing up. Who might be showing up is not net young. Elden Ring is populated with a litany of memorable characters, foul beasts, and corrupt champions. But who's going to make the cut in the movie? Wait, what? What are you talking about? You just listed the cast and then you said no one's been cast. So you guys didn't update your article properly. That being said, we'd be shocked if the likes of Queen Marika isn't a focal point in the Elden Ring Moave. Essentially the god and ruler of the lands between, she is the driving force behind much of the land's conflicts, most notably taking Godfrey on as her first Elden Lord, and bearing 3 children, Godwyn, Mog, and Morgoth. Much of the history and those key characters could be explored. The fans have already dropped one perfect piece of fan casting in our laps. Charles Dance is Gideon, the all-knowing, a former Tarnished who wishes to become the Elden Lord. As a twisted take on the player's own Tarnished, it would be a great vessel. Yeah, I've played this game, but I don't know enough about the lore. Like, I'm nowhere close to even finishing it. But talking about it makes me want to go play it, though. Maybe I'll play it after this. Elden Ring movie story. Will it adapt from Software's game? Curiously, there's been no official talk so far about Elden Ring adapting the story of the 2023 classic. You're calling it a classic already? Nor the side narrative found in the shadow of the Erdtree. Even though it doesn't follow the source material directly, there's plenty for the Elden Ring movie to get stuck into, largely thanks to a familiar person behind its lore. Yes! George R.R. Martin had a considerable hand in shaping the lands between. Yes, they actually had George R.R. Martin write the world's history and backstory, which is kind of nuts to just get, hey, the guy who wrote these hugely successful books helped write the story for our game. So, you know, that doesn't really happen. Like, book authors don't just help write. Essentially everything from before the player's Tarnished arrives as a product of the Game of Thrones author. What is Elden Ring about? While there are lore videos casting dozens of hours that cover this very subject, let's keep it simple. In the game itself, you are a Tarnished, a figure cast out of the lands between. But when the Elden Ring, a mythical object of tremendous power, is broken, the Tarnished are compelled to return. From there, it is up to the Tarnished to seek out the Shard Bearers holding the great runes of the Elden Ring to repair it. Unfortunately, given that most of these have been corrupted or driven mad by the immense power they wield, It is easier said than done. Of course, there are centuries upon centuries of history hinted at via item descriptions, dialogue, and other incidental and environmental clues. One such figure embroiled in so many of that history is Veek, I don't know. Currently one of the most requested characters that fans want to lead in the movie. Why isn't these things that you're linking to just part of this Everything We Know article? Because now you're linking me off to other stuff. Oh, that's like fan speculation. But then I saw something coming down that I wanted to see. While the script still remains shrouded in mystery, a report from the New Yorker reveals that a 160-page spec script exists, penned by director Alex Garland. How much of that makes it to the finished product remains to be seen. 160, that's like over 3 hours, man. Well, based on a game that huge, but yeah. This is from August of last year. At first I thought it was saying he wrote the script in 28 days. But yeah, he's talking about the 28 days later. Yeah, so he wrote 28 days later. So that was one of the first things he was known for. And now he's been directing. The Elden Ring director reportedly wrote the film's 160-page script in an effort to win over the game's creators. And it clearly worked. So he wrote it first. Did he have the rights to do that? Because you could get sued for that, technically. In theory, if you just take someone else's work and write it without their permission. According to a news story in the New Yorker, the upcoming live-action adaptation was pitched to A24 Film head film Noah Saka by none other than Garland. The filmmaker then offered to write a script on spec. I guess maybe he pitched it and then he said, "I'll write the script on spec," meaning he'll do it for free. The script totals out. So he essentially wrote a 160-page plus 40 images. So basically a 200-page pitch package, really. A script and a bunch of stories and imagery. Psycho and Garland flew to Japan together in order to close a deal with From Software and Bandai Namco. So he got them involved as well, the actual studios. Garland previously confirmed that he's now in his 7th playthrough of the game. So he thinks in pretty good hands. Not to mention the fact that George R. Martin is set to serve as producer. Writing on A24 is a kick-ass studio, and Alex Garland is the first-rate director. Yeah, so he serves as producer, but I feel like that's almost like just giving him the title. I mean, he co-wrote the stories, so that could count as being a producer right there. Shouldn't he be considered a co-writer? He's going to get a story by credit, for sure, I think. We don't know about plot or casting yet, though we do know that Heartstopper actor Kit Connor. Wait, Heartstopper? Okay, I thought they meant like he's so good looking. He's a Heartstopper. I don't know who this guy is. Maybe I'll recognize him. No, I don't recognize him. Alright, here's a little bit about Alex Garland in the article. TBA for 2020, 2028, the only release date they have is that, March 3rd, for Elden Ring. Helldivers 2 is a TBA, also on the way from Sony. Though again, there aren't many details available. We'll keep you posted on updates, so keep checking back. We do suspect that we'll be seeing some fun sci-fi movie. It isn't afraid to have a few laughs. So, fingers crossed. Wait, does he mean to say figures? Or is that a joke? Fingers crossed. I think he made a mistake too. What if these people just aren't paying attention, or they're getting AI to write it and then not editing it? BioShock. That one could be cool. BioShock's depiction of Randian aquatic paradise sunk by greed and wild ambition demands on screen. Yeah, I just recently played the first two, and they're really good. Netflix has confirmed it's working on a BioShock movie. I Am Legend director Francis Lawrence is helming, while Michael Green, Blade Runner 2049, is on scripting duties. Little else is known in the BioShock movie, though Lawrence recently told Games Radar that it will have some new little twists. Death Stranding. A Death Stranding movie in partnership with production company A24 is in the works. Hideo Kojima has already said he will be deeply involved in producing, supervising, plotting, look design, and content of the film adaptation, and yet he still isn't just directing it. Like, why doesn't he just freaking direct it already? Maybe he is and they just haven't announced it. Just not in charge of directing. Okay. I like how they always answer my questions 2 seconds after I ask it. Released in 2019, Death Stranding featured Norman Reedus as Sam Porter Bridges. A character that's a little bit too on the nose, don't you think? Sam Porter Bridges, duh. A courier attempting to connect a broken America in the wake of the apocalyptic Death Stranding event. Kojima has stated it will not be a direct translation of the game. And the Death Stranding anime. Kojima is also working on an anime that will tell a new story set in the world of beached things and porter suits. We don't know all that much about the flick, which has the working title Death Stranding Mosquito. I'm not sure if I had known that. I don't know if I heard about that animated, so this might be news to me. Hideo Kojima and his director Hiroshi Miyamoto, any relation? Unveiled an intriguing first look at what? Damn, I'm really catching a late pass. Am I gonna risk watching this? Jeez, I didn't even see this before. Man, I'm bad at my job. Death Stranding announces animated film project alongside the reveal of a teaser trailer. Death Stranding announces. The music is louder than I realized. It doesn't sound that loud on my end. I don't know if my webcam even has audio, like to pick up that stuff. As long as my Yeti works. Not that anyone's chatting, but it doesn't make a noise anyways. Is that a real trailer though, or not just kind of like a ABC anime? That style was like, almost looked like it was like just a test or whatever they call it, a concept. This is all in Japanese. Just watching my phone. What else do we got back? I'm almost closing in on 2 hours. Detective Pikachu 2. It took them a while to get that one done. The first one came out in 2019, and kind of first Pikachu, which I actually haven't seen, was kind of one of the ones that started the whole new adaptation renaissance. That and like the first season of The Witcher, which is still the best season, moves his way to a sequel. Portlandia co-creator Jonathan Crystal. Deadline reports that Ryan Reynolds, who voiced Pikachu, could be involved, so he's not going to be. He was the voice last time. Live action lead Justice Smith, meanwhile, isn't sure if he's back. I don't know if they're going to be a reunion. So you don't even know. This was like maybe before they even announced there's a sequel. The guy who's in the movie last time doesn't even know he's going to be in this one. TBA Dredge. I don't think I've heard that one before. Described as the sixth sense of water, the hit indie game Dredge is being reeled in for a movie adaptation. The title itself follows a fisherman duo while trawling the depths encounters several Lovecraftian nasties. Lurking in the beyond. Production company Story Kitchen, Dimitri M. Johnson, Mike Goldberg, Dan Jovens, and Timothy something. Dredge is a captivatingly eerie and profoundly rich story that had us completely hooked from the very beginning. Duke Nukem. The crude action hero pastiche famously spent a lot of time in development limbo for a long-awaited game, Duke Nukem Forever. We hope it's not a 14-year wait this time. Hollywood Reporter says Cobra Kai creators Josh Held, Hayden Schlossberg, and John Hurwitz will be producing alongside Dune and Godzilla production company Legendary. That's all we know at this early juncture. How old is this Hollywood Reporter arc? Oh geez, 2022. Yeah, that's old. El Paso Elsewhere. I don't know. I've never heard of that one at all. We have El Paso Elsewhere on their bingo card. So far from it, still the cult vampire shooter from Strange Scaffold went a little under the radar upon its release in 2023. Jesus. The film is set to follow James Savage, Lakeith Stanfield, as he battles with his toxic ex-girlfriend's plans to end the world. Okay. So it's like some weird, I've never heard of this game at all. But there's guns on the cover of it, so if I watch that, will I get in trouble for guns? Oh, it looks just like Max Payne. Very Max Payne-y style, it looks like it. Is he even just seeing guns here bad for my live stream? Who even knows? Maybe. I'll just skip right past it. But yeah, Gears of War have been felt tailor-made for the actor treatment. Netflix is finally delivering the goods with the announcement that Gears is being adapted into a live-action film with an adult animated series also in the works. Yeah, they're making 2 of those things. Expect to see Gears' motley crew of battle-hardened cogs fight waves of locusts in the planet of Sarah in the near future. Dune co-writer John Spates has been confirmed to pen the script. Ghosts of Tsushima. Ghosts of Sushi. Took PlayStation by storm on its release in 2020. Sucker Punch's samurai epic, which told the tale of Jin Sakai fighting back after a Mongol invasion of his home island. Has sold to 10 million copies. PlayStation Productions will be hoping that success translates to theater tickets. John Wick director Chad Stahelski is on board, and he's already spoken of his intentions to have a completely authentic Japanese cast. Honestly, it's probably the same things that would scare the shit out of most people. It's a fantasy period piece, the director told Collider. It's done with reference to Akira Kurosawa, who's probably in the top 5 biggest influences on my life as far as film goes. It's a chance to push technology and people in a story that's timeless. While we're still waiting on a solid release date, Stahelski said the movie does have a script. And what is this article from? October 2023. That's pretty old. It Takes Two. This is all the TBA stuff, so there's probably a lot of TBA stuff. As per Variety, Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is producing this adaptation of Hazelight Studios' inventive platform genre. It Takes Two, which took home Game of the Year at the 2021 Game Awards, revolves around a bickering couple who are trapped in the bodies of their daughter's dolls. To find their way back home, they must overcome hardship and eventually rekindle their failing marriage. The Rock is reportedly in line to star, though nothing has been confirmed as of writing. In the meantime, read our review on this co-op gem. I haven't played it. Just Cause has hit a few snags in its long journey to cinemas. In 2017, Jason Momoa was attached to play revolutionary Rico Rodriguez. I made it to 2 hours, with Brad Payton directing. Payton eventually dropped out. John Wick creator Derek Kolstad, another John Wick guy. Both John Wick guys are, because it was co-created. Jumping on board as producer and writer, Michael Dowse, director of Stuber, is now attached to direct the project, though Momoa's status is unclear. Don't worry, though the main selling point is still here, the grapple hook is reportedly going to be part of the Just Cause movie. Well, it better be. If the games are any indication, expect sun-kissed vistas, tons of explosions, and insane stunts. You have Just Cause 3, and it's free and it's fun, Even just the flying around when you get the wingsuit, just doing that is like fun as hell. Mega Man. The Blue Bomber doesn't feel like prime material for a cinematic reinvention, yet here we are. The legendary video game icon has bleeped and blooped his way through decades of rock-hard platformers. These guys are writing things weird. Taking down arch nemesis Dr. Wily and his legion of robot masters across several console generations. Now it seems Mega Man is finally making the jump from consoles to a cinematic adventure. Netflix is bringing the Mega Man movie to life alongside writers and directors Henry Just and Ariel Schulman. Metal Gear, which I did a video about somewhat recently. That's right, Konami and Kojima's legendary stealth franchise is sneakily making its way to theaters. Directed by Jordan Vogt Roberts, Metal Gear Solid will see Oscar Isaac slip into the sneaking suit of Solid Snake. Holy snaps. That's a little bit of alliteration right there. Speaking to EW, Vogt Roberts outed his plan to create a new type of to create a new type of action on screen that also is based on the quietness of the stealth. Yeah, that's like a 2021 article. You're talking about it since then. I don't know, they've been trying to get Kojima's trying to get a Metal Gear movie off the ground since like 06. So it's basically been like 20 years. Vogt Roberts outlined his plan to create a new type of action on screen that is also based on the quietness of the stealth, but that we shouldn't expect a one-to-one translation of the video game experience. So hour-long Kodak calls about nuclear assignment are probably off the table. In 2026, I don't know why I keep looking out the window. Doesn't matter. Like one other person watching. So hour-long Kodak calls about nuclear disarmament are probably off the table. Pac-Man. TBA, they're making a Pac-Man movie. Arcade machines couldn't contain the pellet-popping video game icon forever. Pac-Man is Waka Waka walking his way into cinemas. That's a dumb way to type it. In a live-action adventure, according to the Hollywood Reporter. Let's hope Inky, Binky, Pinky, and Clyde join them up on the big screen. Jeez, I hope. How would that work? I guess it would be animated. There's no other way to do Pac-Man than animated. How would a live-action Pac-Man even work? Or maybe a live-action animated Pac-Man in a live-action world. I could see that happening. Portal. You'd be forgiven for forgetting that the Portal movie was even a thing. Quietly announced back in 2013, the adaptation of Valve's hilarious Portal-based puzzler is finally moving again. We actually do have a script that's being written for the Portal movie now at Warner Bros. We're really excited about the take and the pitch. So it feels like that thing's finally on the rails. So J.J. Abrams, producer, told IGN, "For now, we sit and wait, and we hold the script and the cake." What's cake? Wait, cake? What? Wait, what? For now, we sit and wait and hope the script and the cake isn't a lie. Wait, I actually like the Mega Man cartoon. Wasn't that from like the 90s? Thanks for still being here. If you want a refresher on one of the best PC games ever made, read our Portal review. I don't get the cake reference, so that must be a game thing that I'm just missing. Saints Row. The recent Saints Row remake has received a middling reception, but Saints Row, as far as we know, is still being adapted into a movie. The one-time GTA rival found its funny bone in later years, but the movie's writer Greg Russo has announced his intentions to take inspiration from the likes of the Warriors and Escape from New York for the script. F. Gary Gray, The Fate of the Furious, is set to direct. F. Gary Gray also directed the really great Straight Outta Compton movie. The Sims, after taking the world by storm in Barbie. AKA one of the best movies on HBO Max right now, Margot Robbie has set her sights on another iconic franchise, The Sims. That's right, the Hollywood star is set to produce a live-action take on Max's beloved franchise. EA confirmed The Sims movie in September 2024. The Amazon MGM are involved. MGM and Amazon has co-produced and distributed tons of quality films. The most recent examples being the likes of Challengers and Blink Twice. So it's safe to say that the Sims movie is in capable hands and will likely have a release date announced soon, so keep your eyes on the page. Sifu. One of the most recent projects on this list to spring to life. This is the second time that this guy's been involved. This Derek Kolstad dude is doing like multiple adaptations. The Sifu is all set to be adapted to live action by John Wick creator Derek Kolstad. Deadline reports that the adaptation of Slowcap's Hard as Nails Beat 'em Up was the subject of a competitive pursuit. Yes, I did play it, a bit of it. It was pretty cool. I loved how it just immediately started into the game when you press start. There's no like hour-long opening cutscene. You just immediately go into it. And I'm like, I wish all games just did that. It even has a killer elevator pitch. John Wick meets old. Does that mean in the movie they're gonna get older though? Like, how would that even work? Slime Rancher. One of Steam's highest rated games of all time. So it stands to reason that the kooky adventure. See, look, Derek Kolstad again. Holy shit. This guy's... Well, Story Kitchen is pretty much going to become the game adaptation studio, because that's pretty much all they're doing. And he's part of that, so... Shut up. Stop looking. I hate when people like I don't even have a car, but it annoys me when people park in a parking lot of my apartment building. It's like, no. But it's also annoying because there's a huge board gaming store right next to where I live, so the parking lot's always full. Stray. Yep, Stray is purring its way into cinemas. Currently in the works at Annapurna's animation studio, the adventure will likely follow the plot of the stealth game. There, players control a stray cat who had to navigate a post-apocalyptic world filled with various nasties, and a friendly robot named B12. We love this upcoming movie source material, and you can find out why it holds a place in our hearts. You can't really see my screen on my TV once it like times out. There's no way to make it like Space Channel 5. Don't know that one at all. Few could have predicted Space Channel 5 would have been plucked from relative obscurity to make its way to the big screen. Still, the Sega Dreamcast cult classic is coming to cinemas. It's a 1990 title. Space Channel 5 tells the story of a hapless fast food worker who is recruited by a freedom reporter from the future to save the world from aliens. Using the one thing that unites all people on the planet, our love of silly viral dances. Nice. Split Fiction, as in another from the Hazelight Studios. As It Takes Two continues in development, the latest game from Hazelight, Split Fiction, is also up for film treatment. Multiple studios are believed to be in contention for the rights of the inventive co-op game. Anyone else in the chat, say what's up. Even though there's only like, other than Noble, there's 2 other people there. There's a lot of potential here, hence a Hollywood tends to competition in Hollywood with John M. Chu will direct. That's not the actor, is it? That's like pretty crazy writers, though. I'm not showing his face. Still, they got Rhett Reese and Paul Wernick writing it. The Deadpool guys. Sydney Sweeney's going to be in it, although it's not known if she'll be playing Mio or Zio. Mio or Zio, I don't know. I don't play the game, I don't know. Streets of Rage. Darius Kolstad is set to have a busy few years. Yeah, apparently, the John Lick creator is also involved in adaptation of the classic side-scrolling beat-em-up Streets of Rage. When DJ2's Entertainment Dimitri M. Johnson first mentioned the idea of cracking a Streets of Rage movie, I was so immediately freaking in. And to play with Sega, the 10-year-old me is still grinning. Despite Uncharted 2, yeah, this one's been kind of sitting around for a bit, nothing much new to say. Despite radio silence on the project for some time, it has recently been confirmed that Uncharted 2 is still happening. How recent? Like probably last year sometime. What is this article? June 2024. Okay, so yeah, it's been like almost 2 years. Tom Holland is expected to return as the charming adventurer Nathan Drake, as is Mark Wahlberg's wisecracking Sully. Given how the first movie's post-credit scenes ended, it wouldn't be surprised if this outright adapts the first game, Drake's Fortune. Yeah, maybe that's what the first movie went wrong. Maybe they should just follow the story of the games. Because the first movie was like its own story, but still like the game, so I don't know. Watch Dogs, based on the Ubisoft's open world series. Watch Dogs features Tom Blythe and Sophie Wilde, starring the latest game adaptation to head to cinemas. Matthew Terry is set to direct. The 2014 original title saw players take on the role of vigilante hacker Aiden Peace. I think it's Pierce. Pretty sure it's Pierce. So yeah, another spelling mistake. This is not good luck, guys. These people don't know how to write articles. 2 sequels, Watch Dogs 2 and London-based Watch Dogs Legion, follow in 2016 and 2020 respectively. Yakuza. Real Kaiju-chan fans know all about the 2007 live-action movie. Oh, they actually did make an 07 live-action Yakuza movie? This is a differently beast entirely. According to Variety in 2020, they already had a Yakuza show just last year or something. Or it was like a Dragon, which is a Yakuza spin-off. Isn't that the same thing? According to Variety report in 2020, 2012 Entertainment and Wild Sheep Content will produce, though no casting director have been announced since then. Oh, was that the last one? Well, I'm over 2 hours now, so I just trying to get at least 2 hours. This is a different beast entirely. The saga of Kazuma Kairu is a built-in cinematic appeal, a mix of kinetic action with bursts of Kamoda, multiple conversion storylines, and a gripping journey towards redemption. Well, there's way more than that, though. I know for a fact there's also other ones, but it could be just, well, I don't know. They're missing out. I think they don't have anyone for TV. The TV one would be like a whole other list, I guess, because there's tons of shows being made too. But yeah, I'm at 2 hours and 16 minutes, so I think it's time to riggedy wrap it up. Once again, Noble Bull, thanks for being here. My show got suspended for a second because I guess I was watching that trailer with a a gun in it. Didn't expect that to happen. Apologies for that. But thanks for still being here after I got back online. Yeah. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. Keep gaming. Tgan is out.